Hey everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Obsession, the podcast. We're here at the Record Parlor in Los Angeles, California, with the original frontman of Skid Row, Sebastian Bach. Sebastian just finished picking out his top vinyl, so let's find out more about his picks on Vinyl Obsession, the podcast. Hey everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Obsession. I'm your host, Eric Young, and this is Sebastian Bach. Sebastian Bach is a Canadian-American singer who achieved mainstream success as the original frontman of the hard rock band Skid Row. He is now continuing his music career as a solo artist. Dude, vinyl is a passion of yours, obviously. Yeah. We just had quite the adventure out here in the Record Parlor in LA, which you come here. Like, this is a hangout for you, a haunt for you.
Absolutely.
And I gave you the unenviable task of selecting 5 albums. Mm-hmm. You did your best, and a couple of the ones that we didn't have, but we're going to talk about all the ones that you were talking about anyways.
Okay.
Because I'm curious to know. So, no particular order. We'll start with the bag, and then we'll fill in the ones that you didn't find after.
Okay.
Vinyl number 1.
Well, okay. If you had to put a gun to my head, this probably would be my favorite Kiss album.
Okay.
And the song Take Me is probably my favorite Kiss song. Because the lyrics say, put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my rocket, feel so good to see you, Lucille. And then when we were kids, we thought it said, baby got to know, do you want to blow? I don't know if those are the words, but when we were kids, that's what we thought words.
You loved it.
And we were on the playground going, he says, baby got to know, do you want to blow? And we're like, no, he doesn't say that. And yeah, yes, he does. And we thought it was so forbidden.
Right. It's rock and roll.
Sitting in the back, your head down in my lap, the moonlight shining down overhead, the radio's playing, my fingers just a-straying. Her mama didn't know she was there. No.
Very
okay.
Forbidden.
That paints a picture. It's just very hilarious words, very sexual.
Rock and roll.
And, you know, that was back in the days in Peterborough, where, you know, I'd walk home from school, and if I was lucky, I'd find like a Playboy in a snowbank. It's all rolled up in a ball, like, whoa. But that's, you know, that's when this came out.
And you said when you came in, you got the system. Kisses, that's the first place you go in a record store. Rock and roll section, Kiss section, because you want to see what they have.
I collect it. And you know, I just want to touch on a couple of things about vinyl as a format.
That's why we're here, man.
When people say that CDs are a superior format to vinyl, I know that they don't listen to a lot of music in a lot of hours. And here's what I'll say from experience.
Yep.
I had a club for a while called the Vinyl Wino Club. And me and my friends would listen to vinyl while we're drinking wino.
Totally makes sense, actually.
And these nights would last for a long time. The thing about listening to vinyl for hours and hours and hours, like say people get to my house at 6 or 5, 3 in the morning, we're still listening.
Yep.
You don't get ear fatigue from vinyl. If you tried to listen to CDs from 6 p.m. till 3 a.m., your ears are gonna be like tweaked. Yep. The high end is so sharp, you know? I mean, I've listened to that. The thing about vinyl, when it's 3 in the morning, you're saying, okay, only one more record. Okay, then we're done.
Last one.
And there's always one more after that. It's never the last one because it just sounds great.
Yep.
It sounds soothing in the house.
Yeah.
And people that misguidedly think that CDs are a superior format, I guarantee you they don't go from 6 p.m. till 3 a.m.
They're wrong.
Jimmy Page will tell you the same thing. Joe Walsh will tell you the same thing. They're not on like a kick.
Yep.
They know what good sound is.
Yep. For me, like an untrained ear, not like you guys, like I'm not a musician, but for me was always, I described it as warmth.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Warmth.
Yeah.
And what you're saying with the fatigue, with the highs are high.
Right.
That's sharp, and maybe your brain can't comprehend it, and I don't know why it's happening.
Right.
But I know how I felt when I listened to a CD, or I listened to digital music,
right,
or I listened to a vinyl album.
Right.
There's
and
a difference.
also the volume on CDs is it's like up to here, or they have this thing called brick walling now, where most of the music is just mastered to be as loud as it can be.
Right.
That's not what they were going for in vinyl records. When you listen to Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, the acoustic part is less volume. It's not just pinned the whole way.
That's how the artist wants you to hear it.
Well, there's a thing called dynamics. When it goes from a soft sound then to a loud sound, like you feel it, you know?
Yep.
Like the drum part in the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. It's all this, you can wipe off the sin, know where you've been, all been a pack of lies. When I met her, I said, I was a fan of your dad to the point where I got to do what your dad did and make millions of dollars.
This is Vinyl Obsession, the podcast, and we're back with former Skid Row frontman Sebastian Bach. How old are you when you hear this for this kid's album for the first time?
I was 9 or 9.
9.
Yeah.
And
because I saw them when I was 11.
Okay.
And I was
blown away.
Oh, I was a serious fan by that. I know that sounds crazy, but when you see interviews with Paul Stanley in particular, and they ask him about the Dynasty Tour, which was 1979, he always says, well, it wasn't that pleasurable because all these little kids were there with their parents, and it was more like of a circus family event. Well, I was one of those little kids in the front row. So was Tom Morello. So was Dimebag Darrell.
Yep.
So was Vinnie Paul. So was Trent Reznor. We were all. In fact, I was older than some of those guys.
Yep.
So they were even younger. So all those little kids at the Kiss show, a lot of us ended up selling millions of records.
Right.
So thank you, Kiss.
Yeah.
Sorry, but thanks.
Very
I told Sophie Simmons, Gene's daughter, Gene Simmons, when I met her, I said, do you know what your dad means to me?
Right.
And she's like, not what? And I go, I was a fan of your dad to the point where I got to do what your dad did. Right. And make millions of dollars and buy my mom a car and shit like that.
Yep.
That's what your dad did for me.
Right.
Like,
so there's
that's
real,
pretty heavy.
Musically, like you love this, but really it's this deep guttural connection to it, right?
Well,
it made you who you are.
I was into Marvel Comics as a little kid in Canada. I'm 11 years older than you. Mm-hmm. We had 3 black and white channels. I'm not exaggerating. I lived in a town called Cavan, which was where Neil Young was from, Omemee. I used to ride my bike to Omemee. My aunt lived in Omemee. That was population 800.
Right.
But we had 3 black and white channels in 78. So I read comics. I read Marvel comics. I could get 5 20-cent comics for $1. Then it went up to $0.25, and I was like, dang, I can only get 4 now. But that captured my imagination. The Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America, Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Black Bolt, all these heroes, and I read them religiously. And then it said, Kiss is coming out with their own comic.
Right.
And I bought the comic, and on the front it said, printed in real Kiss blood. And I was like 8 or 9, and I looked at the red ink, and I go, I hold it, this is blood
in your hands.
And all of my friends thought it was really their blood.
Right.
Who thinks of that? Who? Okay, I got a plan for this band. We're gonna print a comic in their blood, and these kids, like, who thinks of that shit? Like
they're masters of that, right?
Masters of that, and nobody knew what they looked like.
Yeah.
So it really was like the Lone Ranger or Superman.
This allure of these
Nobody
beings.
knew.
Right.
And who does that?
Yep.
When has that ever been done since? All you Rush fans are missing out if you don't know about this other band called Max Webster.
Welcome back to Vinyl Obsession, the podcast. Today, we have singer Sebastian Bach talking about his top vinyl. Vinyl number 2.
Okay, well, Rush, I didn't really pick, this isn't one of my top 5 albums all time, but I was talking to you about Max Webster.
Yep.
And since we're talking about vinyl, I know Rush has millions of fans, deservedly so, but all you Rush fans are missing out if you don't know about this other band called Max Webster from Toronto, Canada, that recorded a song with Rush called Battle Scar together, but I'm just trying to turn all the Rush fans onto Max Webster.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Been in jail for 1,000 years.
I love that. And that's another gateway too, right? When you're flipping through, like you said, sometimes it's the art. Or
Yes.
sometimes it's another album that's by an album that you like.
Right.
You're like, oh, what's this?
Right.
Oh, it's $6. I'm just gonna buy it and see.
Yes.
Now you have this new album that you like, and now you got to deep dive on that and find their albums.
And you don't need to spend $40 on a record. You're going to the wrong store.
Yeah.
You should be able to get 40 records for $40.
Right. You can buy them here, and most record stores used or cheaper than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And get more bang for your buck.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Next one. Vinyl number 3.
Well, here's another Rush one, which I got because of the pressing. You got to look at the labels. Like the first Van Halen record, the one you want is the Warner Brothers label that has the palm trees on it. And it's kind of hard to find, but it sounds different than every other copy of Van Halen 1. And if you came to my house, I would show it to you. It's the very first pressing of that album, and it sounds like it.
Yep.
And I can't really explain. I think, as they put out new pressings, they go to other factories, right?
Yep.
They do other master versions. So as the years go on, different equipment makes it, so it all changes.
Yep.
So the vinyl real collector is looking for the original copy, just like a baseball card or a comic.
Yep.
Like the original one.
Yep. And they're rare, and some of those
They
are hard
are,
to find, right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
like
right.
all the ones I wanted to show you guys.
Yeah. You might have already bought those at your house somewhere.
Metal really does make me feel crazy.
You said it up there. Makes your heart.
Yeah.
Right?
It gets
your
my
heartbeat
blood
increases.
pumping. It makes me want to kick some ass.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it does.
Welcome back to Vinyl Obsession, the podcast. We're taking a look at the original voice of Skid Row, Sebastian Bach's top vinyl picks. Vinyl number 4.
This one we talked about, the poster David Lee Roth. I'm giving this to Eric.
Yep.
For your wall.
Van Halen for my collection. I will put this above my bed. Now we're the brotherhood of the David Lee Roth posters.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm not confused at all. I think it's awesome.
I'm not confused at all.
Yeah.
I am a little bit confused.
Okay, so now there was a couple albums that you wanted to talk about that weren't out there. And these are all, a lot of these selections for you, it's vocally, right? You're a singer. Is
Right.
that what drew you to music? Like you knew, like when you heard music, is that the first thing you hear is the vocals?
Well, I listen to music for different reasons.
Not just
You're
one.
a wrestler.
Yep.
So I know for a fact when you're in the gym, you're cranking some metal to get your.
That's right.
I do the same thing. If
I want that feeling.
If I'm running
Yep.
for a long, 4 or 5 miles or something, I'm gonna want to listen to some metal to get me through that shit. But if I'm driving on the tour bus to the next city and I've just played metal for 2 hours and I have to drive like 6 hours, I'm listening to the Allman Brothers.
Yep. Right.
And
Soothing.
the Eagle. Music hits me, man.
Yep.
Like
get that.
metal hits me.
Yep.
But then so does the Eagles hits me.
Yep.
In a completely different way. So when they said pick your top 5 records, I can't do that because I have different. I listen to.
It's difficult.
I
Yeah,
listen
no
to
doubt.
different music for different. I can't compare Steely Dan to Merciful Fate.
Right.
Like I just can't. I mean, maybe I could. But
Yeah. It's a podcast. We got a little bit extra time.
well, but I mean, metal really does make me feel crazy.
You said it up there. It makes your heart.
Yeah.
Right.
It gets
your
my
heartbeat
blood
increases.
pumping. It makes me want to kick some ass.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it does.
Yes.
It makes me, a little rebellious. And
Yeah.
I remember, 14 or 15, me and my buddies cruising around in a black Camaro playing Van Halen, going to a concert or whatever. Like,
Yep.
that's rock.
You're pumped.
That's rock and roll.
Right. Best
Mean
night of your life.
streets. Just feeling the night, feeling
Yep.
rock and roll makes you feel cool. That's good rock and roll.
Yep.
Like that album.
Yep.
And the Cradle of Rock. It just I don't know how to describe it other than
No, you're describing it
makes you
great.
feel badass.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
It's the beauty of music.
Yeah.
And the art of it is eliciting emotion. Even
That's
for
right.
me, I can't play guitar. I don't know. I can't read music. I don't know anything about it. But what I know is that I love it.
Yes.
And I love how it makes me feel.
It touches you.
And I can feel however I want.
Right.
If I'm sad and I want to be
Right.
happy, I put on happy music.
That's right.
I want to be sad. I want to drink bourbon until I can't see straight, and then I put on something sad.
Yes.
Right. So that's it. That's the beauty of it, man.
I mean, when my parents got divorced, I was about 10. And then I lived by myself with my mom, and I'll never forget trying to go to sleep. And I couldn't go to sleep because my mom was by herself in the living room playing Willie Nelson, Always on My Mind, over and over and over and over. And maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could.
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have.
She was just crying and wouldn't stop playing the song, and I couldn't sleep. I mean, so that's a song that I have to
You got to be
be
a special
ready
place.
for. Yeah,
You can't just play it.
Hey, let's just turn that up because immediately I
That's
think
what
of
you
my
think of.
mom getting divorced and
Yep.
playing it over and over.
And we talked about it there, how that it can it's a time machine. It can transport you to that. You hear that song, and that's instantly what you think.
Yeah, but my mom loves Willie Nelson so much, okay, that she's 82 now. And Willie's 90 or 91.
Yep.
And Willie just put out his new album.
Still doing it.
Willie's on the road, and every time I talk to my mom on the phone, how you doing, Mom? Oh, well, Willie's got his record. And I go, yep. He's got 10 years on you. You're just getting started. So come on.
Let's go.
We're going to see him. Oh, we're going to see Willie. Oh, we're going to see Willie.
That's awesome.
Willie's coming. Willie's coming. But it's an inspiration.
Yeah.
Like when I look at Mick Jagger and he looks like he's 14 and he's skinny as a rail, I'm like, what the is Mick Jagger doing?
Yeah, just
Like,
released
how
it.
does he look like that?
Just released a new album. Hack Your
How
Diamonds.
does he look? I could starve myself for 3 weeks and I wouldn't look like that.
Now, do you have anything coming up? I know you said
Yes.
you're releasing a new
I
album.
have a new song, which was the #1 most added song at Active Rock Radio.
Awesome, man.
I'm not making that up.
I'm not- I
And
don't
it's
think you
not
are.
87. So everybody listen to that shit.
That's awesome, man. Sebastian,
I'm very proud of that.
I really want to thank you, man, for coming in. This has been amazing. Listening to you talk about music is inspirational. At some point, I will see your collection.
Oh, you're invited to my house.
I'm envious of
For
it.
sure.
All
You
right.
guys, you can film an episode in my house. And I'll always come on a show called Vital Obsession.
We're both obsessed.
I'm always down for that.
Guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Eric.
This has been Vinyl Obsession. I'm Eric Young. He's Sebastian Bach. He's obsessed. I'm obsessed. And now you're obsessed too.